So why am I here again? You want me to do a poem for this stupid ass movie? I repeat, stupid ass. Did you not watch it? Actually, I know for a fact you watched it because you were bitching about it the entire time. You still want that poem though? No. Why are you staring at me awkwardly? Don't make me do this. I feel like I'm living Stockholm Syndrome like the characters in this movie are. Alright, here goes. Roses are dead. Nightmares are real. What in the world is this stupid-ass movie's deal? Have you not at all seen the pacing? The terrible characters? The horrible, horrible, horrible kills. There is something that is so gratifying in horror movies when you watch dumbass people dying. But for this movie, apparently, dumbass people die in very lame-ass ways. If you want to watch good kills from a modern Freddy movie, watch Freddy vs. Jason, because apparently they remembered what in the hell you're actually supposed to do with a character. Or characters, or kills, or anything. And going back onto that, what the hell is up with this Freddy's deal? Why do we have to have such an unlikable Freddy with CGI, with terrible costuming, with this whole subplot that just makes you feel icky and creepy and not in a goddamn fun way? If we wanted to have a terrible remake movie, there's plenty that we can do. My request for in the future is leave my goddamn Freddy Krueger movies alone. And in that spirit, Kaiju no Kami, my lovely, lovely you, this movie, and the director for even thinking he was even capable of making it. And once again, I reiterate, this director. And who thought this was a good movie and well worth their time because I want my life back. With that said, alright? But I shall murder you if you make me do this again. Bye!
If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends.
What's up everyone, Kaiju no Kami here, and oh, the horror remake month continues. This time with a look at 2010's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, fuck me. After a successful remake of Friday the 13th, New Line Cinema and Platinum Dunes decided to remake A Nightmare on Elm Street with the intention of returning Freddy back to his more serious roots rather than the comedian he had become. This also in turn led to them replacing Robert Englund, who had played the character for 20 years, with Watchmen star Jackie Earle Haley, which left audiences lukewarm despite Englund approving of this decision. It didn't help that they used a bunch of CGI on his face to represent the burnt skin. Among other things. So is A Nightmare on Elm Street a dream come true or a hellish nightmare? We pretty much already know the answer to that, but just in case, let's take a look to find out. Nightmare kicks off with some dude named Dean in a poorly lit diner. The waitress ignores him, so he goes searching for her, only to come across Freddy before waking up.
Dean.
I think the diner is still kind of poorly lit. So maybe he's still dreaming? It is there that we meet waitress Nancy, played by Rooney Mara, who is so wooden she can give a tree a lesson.
I told you if you keep falling asleep, they're gonna kick you out of here.
Sorry. Won't happen again, okay?
Okay.
In comes her friend Chris.
Hey, Chris. You can sit wherever you want.
Actually, I'm just here to meet Dean.
Oh, he's right over there.
Oh great, another CW actor. Didn't we get enough of this in the last movie? Now we have Flash, Supernatural, The Tomorrow People, and Arrow. What next? The next horror movie remake's gonna feature someone from either Black Lightning or Legends of Tomorrow? Or probably Riverdale. Anyway, from here we are also introduced to our other main characters, Quentin, a boy who likes Nancy.
Can I get you guys anything else?
No, I think we're good. We just get the, check.
I'm so bored. I'm so bored.
And his friend Jesse, the ex-boyfriend of Chris.
Okay. Come on.
Dean laments his issues to Chris, who practically ignores him.
They're just dreams. Okay, they're not real.
Dean finally has enough of this movie's poorly lit diner and offs himself. Well, okay, he actually fell asleep again and Freddy killed him, which is a duh to us, the audience, but to everyone else that's actually in the movie in the diner, it looks like he committed suicide. Chris sees some weird stuff happening at Dean's funeral. We get some truly spectacular acting.
It was like somebody was making him do it, but there's nobody there.
I believe you.
You do?
I'm so bored. I'm so bored.
And hey, Clancy Brown's in this movie. Shit just got real. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not at all. From here, we follow the exploits of Chris as she tries to make sense of everything that happened, from Dean's suicide to a picture she saw of her and Dean as kids despite not knowing him until she was older.
You knew Dean that far back?
Jesus, that is me. But I don't know how I'm in that picture. I didn't meet Dean until high school.
This leads to her having some sort of mental breakdown, teetering between reality and fantasy as she constantly falls asleep and meets Freddy.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
You really shouldn't fall asleep in class.
That night, Jesse comes to her house to comfort her and they talk about the man in their dreams.
Jesus, Jesse.
Never mind.
Hold on a minute. We just spent 30 minutes building up Chris and she's not even the main character of the movie? What is up with these remakes and this bullshit bait and switch feature with their central characters? Halloween built Michael up before focusing on Laurie. Friday the 13th did it with Whitney. And now this? I understand wanting the audience to like your characters before you kill them off. But when your characters are as interesting as a pile of dog shit you come across on the street, and you do it so much, it loses all meaning. Getting back to this shit bucket of a film, Jessie Freaks goes to visit Nancy because she too doesn't have a screen in her window. Seriously, does this town not know what screens are? And frenzies about Chris's death to her. He is then arrested, taken to prison within seconds, only to also be murdered by Freddy. At least that's one less character we have to deal with in this film. The movie then shifts its focus on Nancy and Quentin, who are trying to figure out who the man in their dreams are because they are all suffering the same problem. At one point, Nancy dreams of a school she doesn't recognize during a bath.
You're my little Nancy.
Remember that iconic bathtub scene in the original Nightmare on Elm Street? The one where Freddy's hand comes up out of the water and you kind of have that tense moment that really freaked audiences out back then? Well, here's how this movie does it. Where is the suspense? Where is the tension? It's merely there because it was in the original. Anyway, Quentin comes to spend the night at Nancy Drew's house trying to figure shit out when they finally come across an old photo of them as 5-year-olds at some specialty school.
Chris, Jesse, and Dean. It's me, it's you, it's what?
Nancy confronts her mother about it, so she spills the beans.
His name was Fred Krueger. He was a gardener, and you kids were his life.
Okay.
And then we started to notice things.
Uh-huh.
He takes us to the secret cave.
Sure.
He left town before we ever were able to confront him.
That's it.
That was a bit anticlimactic.
At school that day, Quentin nearly drowns during swim class, dreaming he is in a factory. There, Freddy zooms past him running into one of the buildings.
You open this door, Krueger! What do you think I did? I didn't punch your ass!
This leads to Clancy Brown setting the building on fire, burning Freddy to death.
You'll pay for this with your children's blood!
Quentin is resuscitated, grabs Nancy, and yells at his dad for them killing Freddy without having any proof.
Why didn't you go to the police?
You were so young.
No, God, and the things we said he did. The cave? Did you ever find it?
No.
This leads to several scenes full of whispering.
I just saw Grace in a body bag.
Alright, you've been up for too long.
Deadpan acting.
Sweater. He's here.
Freddy tormenting our duo without any sort of tension whatsoever. All to get them to the school they attended as children.
This is it. This is the school.
It is there that they find Freddy's secret room and make a shocking discovery. What is it? What is it? I need to know. At last, we're finally gonna find out that it was all a mistake and...
No. Oh, God. No!
He's not after us because we lied. He's after us because we told the truth.
Hey folks, you know that nice, fun Freddy you like? The one who does rap music videos that you were like loving a lot in the 80s and early 90s that you're like, oh, he's so fun, he's so funny. That guy with the burnt face and the green and red sweater? Yeah, the guy you love. Everyone's like, oh my god, he's so awesome, I love him. He's one of my favorite horror movie icons, he's so fun. Did you know that he was a child molester? Yeah. He's a child molester. So, do you still like him?
So my advice to you is to stay ready, 'cause you know who's back? Freddy.
I want this movie over with. How can I speed up the last 20 minutes of this film? Nancy goes to sleep. Freddy creepily flirts with her.
I want to wake up!
You can't wake up. I'm your boyfriend now.
Oh, no, it's so wrong. He doesn't like them in that manner. Quentin wakes her up, which allows her to pull Freddy out of the dream world, and they kill him. The end! Forget the final fucking jump scare. This movie's done and over with. I am done. This is hands down one of the worst horror movies ever made, and perhaps the worst remake ever made. Even worse than Psycho. At least Psycho just copied and pasted everything that made the original so good. This, The plot sucks. It is downright boring. It lacks any sort of suspense or tension whatsoever and tries to recreate beloved scenes from the original while wanting to be its own thing. It does not work. The acting is atrocious. The only actor in this entire movie that seemed like she was attempting to act was Katie Cassidy. In fact, it feels like the movie was supposed to focus on her, but because she was the only one trying to do her damn job, the director decided to rewrite the movie and kill her off because he wasn't going to have any of that. Now I know people tend to blame directors when the actors portray the characters with the emotions of a stick, but I'm sorry, that can only go so far. In the words of Alfred Hitchcock, when there was once an actor who told him, "I need motivation to get my character right. Your salary." These people are being paid to do a job, and when they do as poor of a job at it as this, they are clearly not doing their job. Don't get me wrong, Sam Bayer was a horrid choice for a director, as he's a terrible director. He sucks, but this movie is on everyone, not just him. The effects are just as bad too. I didn't even bother with this bit earlier, but just look at the recreated wall scene. There's no dramatic flair to it at all. It just happens because it was in the original. I also don't get the lighting of this room. Lamps don't work like that. Why does it look like that? The lighting is just as atrocious here as everything else. Everything sucks. And I am done talking about this movie. Not even the soundtrack from Steve Jablonsky is worth talking about. No, it is a review. I should at least give one positive point from it. Positive point from this movie. Positive point from this movie. Oh, the Silent Hill-like scene.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Yeah, that was the best moment in the film. Don't even watch anything else except for this one scene you can watch on YouTube. Well, that brings this review to an end. Join me next week as I conclude the Horror Remake Month with... What am I reviewing next week? Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie.
We were protecting. From what? From him. From what he did to you. From what you kids told us he
We
did.
were 5! We would have said anything!
This movie.